name is Maurice Washington. I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Executive Talk, those that are here live in our studio audience and also those that are tuning in live. In today's show, we're going to talk about the comfort zone. And this title is specifically called The Comfort Zone Identified. Now, the reason why I put the word identified and with this comfort zone is because we're used to saying a lot of words as business professionals, as just people in general. So what does comfort zone really mean? What does that mean to you? And and the reason why we have to find meaning behind this, because have you seen your parents or people before you go their whole life into this comfort zone and you put a name on it? We need to actually figure out, why does this continuously happen, and are we headed towards that same direction? The comfort zone is important for us to understand, but there is something, we put a name to something that's actually holding. What is that zone? Why are we zoned in? What does that really truly mean? And that's what we're going to identify today, is what that comfort zone is and why is it so hard to get out of. So anytime I do an executive talk show, I always have a trail. So please keep an open mind with this, because this is all relevant. So everything I'm going to talk about now is very relevant to what we talk about later on in this conversation. So the trail is, remember that time frame from birth to 2 years old. Okay, if you don't remember your time frame, which you typically don't, you remember having kids, you remember babysitting, you remember seeing this trail at some point in your life, and it was an outside looking in process. Remember this trail from birth to 2 years old. You remember these words? You can do it. Come on, baby, get up. Come on, let's go. You can do it. I know you fell, but get up. Daddy, mommy loves you. Let's go. You guys remember that? Hey, I'll hold your hand. You can do it. I know you can. Why were you able to walk and talk? At that particular age, did you have any concept that you had these abilities? You had no concept whatsoever. Okay? You can remember specifically by watching a baby or your kids how gangly those legs were, right? But why were you able to? Because love language was spoken into you. It was spoken into you the whole time to that point, the potential that you were unaware of. You didn't even know what potential was, but love language was spoken into you. Okay? And what was it spoken into? The potential that you had into you at the first day of birth. That's how impactful. So when people say words are impactful, would you guys agree that this is the trail? Okay? It starts at an early age. Support was spoken into you. I'll be there. I'll hold your hand. I know you're crying. Get up. Let's go. You remember the times that you can see it. You fell once. You cried for about 30 minutes, right? You got up again, and then when you fell again, you didn't cry the next time. Why? You just got up and you just started trucking down. You remember that momentum when that baby would start to run? Okay, it was almost like it was a trainer. Like, oh my gosh, you're going way over here. Let me hold you back. Because momentum carried that on. It carried your words on. You manifested what was spoken into you at that very moment. Remember this moment. Come on, say mommy. No, say daddy, say daddy. Say mommy, say mama. You didn't know you had that capability, but it was an urge inside of you that somebody was speaking into you, that you had the capability, and then you were able to say mom, dad. And then all of a sudden, you haven't stopped then. How do I know that manifested? You talked today, you walked today. Now let's think about the manifestation trail. Okay, actually, first and foremost, before we talk about the trail, as soon as you started walking and talking, it became your first introduction to the power of manifestation. It was your first introduction. You didn't know it, you didn't put it in those terms, of course, because you're a little sponge at that time, but that was your first introduction. That was a monumental experience. Think about it. You went from birth to spoken into that you can walk. Okay, what was the first action? You started to crawl. But guess what? Your mom and dad said, no, you can do more. You have more potential in you. Let's walk. So then you started to walk. Then you have more potential. Then you started to run. No, you have more potential in you. You started to jump. And all that potential. And okay, the next one, you're able to climb. If you climb a 14er, you're able to do that. Because all these things, and it all happened in the matter of being spoken into, and that's what it manifested. Your body is built to manifest and is built to grow. It doesn't know what is growing at this early age, but it's built to grow. Birth, you're spoken into to talk. Say mom, say dad. Now, you're able to talk. Then you heard yourself yell. Then you can see yourself scream. You can sing. Maybe not good, but the fact is it had to start from this talking point being spoken into in order for you to even have a bad voice of singing. Now, this is your first introduction again to your abilities, to your movement, to speech and mind, and how it all came together for 2 years. For 2 years. Remember, that was a long time frame. But what is your mom and dad telling you? My baby is brilliant. Oh my gosh, she's so smart. It's already 18 months and he's already talking and walking and crawling. You see what I'm saying? You guys, the manifestation has already happened, and your abilities, movement, speech, unlimited potential was spoken into you at that time. Now, here's where the contradiction gets introduced to your life. Okay? The same thing that was spoken into you has now become a stress. You were spoken, run, come on, go. You can do it. Say mama, say daddy, come on, say it, come on. And then you do it. Now, new words are being spoken into you. Okay? Sit down. Will you please sit down? Oh my gosh, you're all over the place. You are so bad. You're smiling. You're so bad. Oh my gosh. Now, again, you know you're coming from a place of love, but again, that baby is a sponge, doesn't know any difference. So think about it. Sit down. It is now a foreign substance. When you're speaking into that, when we're speaking into that child, the pure substance was the manifestation that you can do it. Now it's saying sit down. The baby does not understand the difference in this new introduction. It becomes this foreign substance. You're so bad. I thought I was the smartest thing in the world. Now you can see it within your parents. Mom and dad's like, your child won't sit down. I can't even give him oh my gosh, what's wrong with him? He's got too much energy. You drive me crazy. We're going to let that resonate for a minute. But do you see those words? Now, what happened in this scenario? Did this water try to kick it out? Not at all. Remember that. Now, the contradictions start to become a norm. Now, remember the teenage years. Now you're going through a lot of changes, right? You're becoming a man, you're becoming a woman, you got those changes going on. You got friends, you're trying to figure out who you are, and now this is a new phase in life, but you grew up with all these contradictions throughout the process. You're not doing well in school, you're doing awesome in school. What are you doing? Why are you making that decision? They're going crazy, right? You're having all these contradictions going on within. So half of you still wants the unlimited potential. It still knows about this unlimited potential. It has not changed. But the other part of you is afraid that it will be rejected. Because remember, at 2 years old, it was the same thing that actually got on mom and dad's nerves. So now you start to become double-minded. Half of you wants to go on limited potential, and the other part of you feels rejected. And then, again, this is what's going inside of you. This unlimited potential within you is going to grow whatever is put into it. That's how our bodies are made. It doesn't break it out. So now it becomes a zone. This double-mindedness, this unlimited potential in this foreign substance is now zoned into your body. You have no clue what's happening. You don't even know it's a zone, but this is what happens. Now, what is the definition of comfort zone? The definition of comfort zone is a psychological state in which a person feels familiar, at ease, in control, and experiences low anxiety and stress. Now, here's the definition of zone. An area or stretch of land having particular characteristics, the characteristics, of the comfort of familiar, at ease, control, experiences low anxiety and stress. Purpose, use, subject to a particular restrictions. So if this is in you, now you're being restricted. This unlimited potential has been restricted by these foreign words that don't associate with the unlimited potential, but your body is so amazing, it will try to grow anything. Have you ever, if you're allergic to avocado and your skin is the biggest, your epidermis is the biggest organism on your body, correct? Go ahead and try to put avocado on your skin and be allergic to it. Will it still try to manifest it? Absolutely. The manifestation is a rash. It will manifest anything, good or bad. It just knows to manifest. That's all your body knows what to do. So, have you guys seen Spider-Man 3? All right. There's a couple of clips in here. I'm one of those guys who watches the movie over and over again. There's one time I watched it, and this particular scene got me. I want to introduce it to you guys and kind of help you guys see it through my eyes. So,
20 years.
Hello.
Mr. Parker, Dr. Connors here.
Oh, Dr. Connors. How are you?
Quite a specimen you left me, Parker. Its chemistry is not unlike the chondritic meteorites of the 70s.
Thanks. That's good.
You know it, Parker? Parker?
Come smell.
It amplifies characteristics of its host,
Hey, give me another cookie.
especially aggression. This could be dangerous.
it amplifies characteristics of the host. So this foreign object needs a host in order for it to even, before I put this in here, was this water clear? Yes. So it needed a host in order for it to manifest. So the same functionality, did you hear it? It needed a host, and you see what's happening with this host. Now it actually taken over the properties. What you see in here is taking over the properties, and the same water is now H2OF, foreign, right? It's a whole different concept of what was inside of you is embedded. And you can see, if I look down in here, you can probably barely see me through, you probably see my tie through here. It's that cloudy. So no longer can you see clearly. When before you were seeing life through this lens, unlimited potential. Now, the phase of this foreign substance, okay, and this is what's zoned inside of you, and that's that comfort zone, it attacks your tongue. That sounds like a very weird statement, but have you ever said something, if we say there's power in their words, would you guys agree to that? And you said something that hurt somebody, it came from here. It's not because that's who you are, it came from this particular place. It attacks your eyes. Have you ever asked your kid, why are you looking at that? Why, is that the only way you can see that situation? Come on now, you're better than that. This is what's clouding their vision right now. They can't see their unlimited potential to do something a little bit different. It attacks your ears. Did you see in that prior example, once it took over the properties, it fought off anything that was pure and anything that was good in that. You guys remember seeing that? So for business professionals, what we do is we read books and nothing is penetrating in there. Because our ears, this is clogged our ears. We can't hear anything anymore. We're not receiving anything anymore. It attacks your actions. You don't want to do half of the weird stuff that you do, but you do it anyway, and then you're, what the heck did I do that for? It already in the start, you already knew you didn't want to do it, but you went there anyway. This has its own mind. It attacks your response to pain. Has anybody heard the statement, no pain, no gain? Now, with this, with unlimited potential, no pain, no gain, actually knows how to resonate that statement the right way. But this says, well, no pain, no gain, so you're in a bad situation. You're doing something in business that you know you shouldn't do, but you say no pain, no gain is the reason why. No, it leads you down to more pain. Okay, but this doesn't receive that same phrase the same way. The manifestation of this foreign object starts to begin. Once it starts to set in stone, you see how quick it settled. It didn't take forever. It didn't take 5 weeks. It took less than 30 seconds. I can't. That is a foreign statement to unlimited potential. So, I can't do this. So you already spoke what you can't do, what's in the future. You already spoke to your potential. You cannot do this. So what does your body do? It does everything to not do it, right? That's what that's the power in those words. I should have. So instead of looking forward where our limited potential needs to look forward, I should have forces you to look back. You can watch a basketball game. I'll put myself on the line here. I can watch a basketball game and say, man, I should have worked harder in basketball. I could have been on TV. It forced me, instead of enjoying the basketball game for where it was, I'm thinking about myself and what I should have done. I could have. Okay, and it's just a matter of a T, a VE, where I can. I should have. I should. I could. Have you ever said, I'm so tired, I don't want to go to a networking event tonight. I do not want to go to that networking event. I am too tired. And let's say it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you just know you're tired. And then you stay up till 10 o'clock at night, and that event was from 5 to 7. Then you go back in the past, and that same day, man, I could have went. I'm still up. How tired were you? This has some weird properties to it. It makes you say some of the weirdest things. I'll try and see. I have to wait until it's perfect. That is the most dangerous classic statement. Now, we don't want anything to fail, but where is this? First of all, you have to wait. Where did this perfection come in? You got to try over and over again in order to really even get it, and then sometimes you still mess up when you finally get it, right? Perfection is a weird thing to actually put out there. I'll try and call you maybe tomorrow. Now, we've heard that before. We may have said it before, but when two people have a conversation, and when you guys leave that conversation on that note that it's okay, then that means both of you guys are talking from this place. If you take out, I'll call you tomorrow, that's all that needs to be said, or I won't call you tomorrow. It's got to be one of the two. It's got to be definitive. But this unlimited potential won't allow that conversation to end on, I'll try to call you maybe tomorrow. So there is a difference. But those words introduce you to your mountain. All 7 of those phrases are mountains now, because now I can't. You start thinking of all the reasons why you can't. Well, people won't accept me, mountain. Or I won't get there. This doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you're male, female. It doesn't matter your race. It's universal. But these are your mountains. And you see this mountain. It's not like it's a pretty mountain. Below, there is probably a very beautiful mountain. But that's what your mountain starts to look like. It looks very gray. It looks very bleak. It looks like there's no opportunities or potential there. It looks like if you go in this mountain, you're going to find some wolves there. You're going to find some bears, and you're going to get eaten. And that's that mindset just signifies that I can't. That's why I shouldn't, because I might get eaten alive over there. That's what happens. So I'm going to take 2 examples. Working out is a very classic one in our personal lives. Working out where you have a foreign substance in you, and you're working out from this perspective, think about it. The weight loss. Have you ever known anybody to go, they lost 10 pounds, they're feeling great, they're feeling awesome, and then 2 years later, they're plus 20 pounds? It happens to a lot of us out there. Why? Which one was working out? Unlimited potential won't allow yourself to go back. There's a different value system that unlimited potential taps into. But this foreign substance, you remember the example that we had before, it fought off all the good. What are you trying to do, losing weight? We don't know that. We're going to fight that off, and we're going to take you back to where you were. The foreign substance in public speaking. It actually, if you're this foreign substance, if you have a future date of November 20th that you're going to have a public speaking, you will find a way to, can I get sick? Are people going to judge me based on my height right now? You've already threw out mountains way in front of you to where you're looking at the calendar like, can it slow down? You're not even excited anymore. This is what that foreign substance, look at that opportunity as. When you've been praying on your knees, can I get this? I need to make this business work. But then all of a sudden you have an opportunity that will actually find somebody in that arena to help you grow your business. This foreign substance already stopped your opportunity. So as soon as you'll say, I'm not compelling enough. You'll go into that presentation dry, not excited at all. So those become your mountains. Now, let's talk about the fact of trying to get rid of it. Okay, I wanted to take this other clip from Spider-Man 3, and sometimes it takes a particular moment, but we'll talk about that in a second here.
You. Can I help you, sir?
No.
Is everything okay here, Paul?
Yeah. Everything okay here, Paul?
Take a bow here. Let's go, sir.
Take your hand off of me.
Now.
Who are you?
I don't know.
It's Brock, sir.
Bang.
I want you to kill Peter Parker.
Parker.
Okay, so let's think about that. When you try to have the breakup with this, the only time sometimes you realize this is happening is when that comfort zone starts to hurt others around you, when it starts to hurt your business, when it starts to hurt your opportunities and your unlimited potential. Sometimes it takes an extreme moment for it to bring attention to it. But one thing I wanted you guys to pay attention to in this other frame is, did you guys see when he just tried to break up with it? It's like, you know what, I'm ready to be done with it. Did it just go away? No, not at all. He's trying to tear it away, trying to rip it away, and it just stayed there. It is that vicious. It doesn't just leave you just because you're ready to break up with it. It's trying to stay with you because, again, it's a host. It needs a host in order for it to stay alive. And you're the perfect host because you have unlimited potential to manifest this badness, this stuff that's not good for you. So that's why it doesn't. So even when you get to the point of, man, I finally broke up with it, like you guys know the rest of the movie, I don't need to show it. It still is trying to find you. When you have thoughts, man, I remember when. Okay, no, I'm done with that. It's because this is trying to come back in and get back to its host. It knows you very well, you know it very well, and it's a bad relationship that just wants to keep on staying with you. So that's where that comfort zone becomes a lifelong journey, and you're actually fighting a journey above all else to get out of this comfort zone. And that's why I feel like it's very hard for people to, when they see that, when they have to look back and say, man, I could have did so much more. This is what happens. This thing can replace the properties and won't show a sign. You look good in the mirror and everything else is fine, but it will take everything from you. So before we end off with the final thought, we'd like to go to our studio audience and see if they have any questions, and we'll start with you. Did you have any questions? Can you come to the mic, please? Thank you for being on Executive Talk. Please let me know your name and also the name of your business.
Pam Blackman, Pam Blackman Online, I'm a certified business manager.
Pleasure to meet you, Pam.
And so Maureen Bryce, what would you say as far as comfort zone being one of those things where people will look often at what others have accomplished, and they always go, you know, I'll never make it there, or they've made it before me, and, you know, I could have done that, like you said earlier,
Sure.
or those kind of things. And what we don't realize is we don't realize the sacrifices they may have had to make to get there.
That's right.
Or we don't realize everything that they may have had to eat, you know, beans and rice for months to get to where they are.
That's it.
But we don't see that. What can we do you think, to remind ourselves and get ourselves out of that part of a comfort zone, and remind ourselves that they had to go through something too, like what we may be going through right now in our businesses?
Absolutely. I think that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. You know, I think for us as entrepreneurs, you know, we did it before when we were young, we're used to it. I want to be like Denzel Washington. I want to be like XYZ movie star. Okay, we look at these people and they become the mountain. But yes, part of our statement is, yes, are we willing in our day-to-day, this foreign substance doesn't allow you to understand that you may be going through a sacrifice for right now. Maybe you have to sacrifice a month or two, or maybe for a year, and things are going to get weird. But then what are you willing to go for this potential? If it's been locked up, if you don't realize that you've been locked up emotionally for this long, how do you get there? And truth is, we don't know if they're still dealing with this stuff. You see a lot of your famous movie stars going through some pains and doing some weird stuff, because you can still make it with this, but it will still destroy you at the top. So you really have to be relevant to your own self and what is your own journey. So that's my thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any more questions out there?
Yes, Brian McGinnis with Service Master Commercial and Residential Cleaning Services.
Thank you for being
To
here.
kind of expand on that last question a little bit, you've given some verbiage and other lists of things that you can look at to identify if you're stuck in your comfort zone. But what advice would you give to those that are around somebody that's maybe not understanding that they're stuck in a comfort zone, need some help, need some coaching? You know, if you're dealing with your kids, coworkers, you're a leader, a boss, what recommendation or advice would you give to those that are trying to help people come out of their comfort zone?
Absolutely. That's a phenomenal question. Remember earlier in our conversation, we alluded to this covers up your ears. It covers up the way that you receive information. It's already fighting off anything that's positive. That's actually what you're experiencing right now. They're fighting. They heard you. This unlimited potential has no choice but to hear you, but it's already, this tainted stuff is already kicking out that information. And unfortunately, the only thing to do is kind of like in this example is sometimes we have to wait to that thing that hits them upside their head like a brick wall, you know, like a brick wall, in order for them to make that change. And that's the uncontrollable part about life, is all we can control is our own stuff in order to recognize it and be an example for them when it's time for them to come back. So those are my only words of advice for that. Thank you. Actually, at this moment in time, we're coming short on time. We're coming close to the end of the show. So I would like to leave some closing thoughts with you. And Brian, you got me to really think about this a little bit further, is that yes, we can understand this. It's a fine line distance between this and this. We're a step away from this, but this one actually makes you look weird, because you're doing everything outside the box. You're actually, instead of hanging out, running around, you're going to bed and you're waking up and you're focused every single day. The attributes to this are outside of the norm. And because you know that there's a greater you within. So if you have to not be feared that you're going to be outside the norm, it does get lonely right at this stage. But don't be feared, because it's better at the top with this. Now, I would like to invite everybody to our YouTube, our Facebook, LinkedIn, follow us on Twitter, Instagram to maintain the conversation. But in the meantime, I have to get back to work. You guys have a great day.